I think yesterday the biggest takeaway that I had was it was at the end of the day. Like we were talking about everything, and especially when you and UM were talking about the marketing of how you guys market and how you guys are, you don't want to deal with the certain people who are going to think about it and who are going to be like that. As like the people who are in here are people who are self motivated to take action. And um, since I'm not on an offer, and I was up in my head like all day yesterday, and I was waiting after the event was done to talk to UM, and I was standing there, and I just happened to actually talk with Mike, and we were just talking about his offer and how like the lower ticket people like the $3,000 for him, and when I was on an offer, the $2,000 people are the people you have to pull across the line. They want to be coddled. As soon as I said the word coddled, I thought immediately, I was like, I'm standing here waiting to be coddled by UM.
Hmm.
And I was like, immediately, I know what the fuck I need to be doing. I've listened to what UM has said in the mastermind on the calls. I've listened to what you said. I know what the fuck I should be doing. I just need to fucking do it. Stop waiting for someone to give me the reason or the permission to do it, and just do it.
That's massive.
Yeah, and that was what I had at the end of the day. So
That's huge. That's a massive one.
Yeah, that was crazy to watch that light bulb just get switched, man. My biggest takeaway was in the same realm with you, right? Of going and catering a lot of my time and attention over the last 4 months to the lower ticket thingy and dealing with the people that you have to grab by the collar and drag across a line. And I told you this, this morning, is that when I stopped doing that and I focused on the higher ticket thing and only catered to up here instead of down here, all of a sudden I grew exponentially. And that happened when UM said something about the 10 grand mastermind. And that was massive for me. And then something that hit last night as well when we got back from the steakhouse is I did that little exercise that you wanted. And I went really deep on it until like 1 in the morning. And funny enough, I thought I had gotten everything out of it that I needed to until this morning when I was sitting there talking to Emily or whoever. Yeah, I think it was Emily. That it wasn't anger that was holding me back. It was my own desire, for better lack of the words, is to be coddled. Like I have been in a relationship since I was 16, almost consistently, because I was afraid of being alone and I needed to be coddled by somebody else to feel validated in my own being. And after articulating that this morning, it just completely unlocked a different level of myself. And that would not have happened if I was not here in this space, in this environment with all of you guys. So thank you, Josh.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Who's next? Yeah, go on.
Into it, 'cause we kind of did it, kind of didn't. It ties into all that too. Is just not negotiating with my own mind. Like it's easy to not do the thing, and so you don't do it because it's easier not to, and you give yourself outs. Like if you say I'm gonna wake up early and then you don't, that type of shit, right? And I've been doing that with making decisions with my career because of different factors that play into that. But it's like it's been easier to just not do the uncomfortable thing and step ahead and go to the next thing or what's going to be better for me. It's been easier to stay where I'm at. So just accepting that's okay. That's what I've been doing. And now I'm fully aware, like that's not serving me and it's keeping me from growing, I think, to a level I could be at already. So that, and then also just like, if you say you're gonna do something, do it. And so I decided like actionable steps. So like from yesterday, I was like, okay, well this weekend I'm gonna get clear on like what would I want to sell, what would I feel aligned with, and I want to have an idea of like what that is by Monday, and I'm gonna have it written down. I'm gonna reach out to some people. I'll use the school group even. I'm gonna start doing the things to make it move. Um, that and then also just like also that thing we talked about, which was like the people that you surround yourself with. Not everybody is your friend, and that's okay. But like you shouldn't worry about that because the ones that are will show themselves.
Yep.
So that was huge for me.
Massive. Beautiful. Yeah, go for it, Alex.
Thank you, brother. A big takeaway for me, and it's something I've noticed throughout the mastermind, and it's something I was just speaking to about actually. But when we do the border blocking calls, when we do calls, or just when we go deep on one of your calls in general, a common theme I've noticed is that we are all just human. And
Yeah.
I think when I came into the online space, because I'm very new to it, I put so many people on a pedestal. And I always just imagined that all successful people, like, they didn't have any mind blocks.
That's just
They didn't procrastinate.
He's the only one I know.
But one thing I always noticed on the calls, and I was like, oh, damn, like, these guys have the same problems as me.
Yep.
I thought, like, if I need to be successful, I have to have, like, the perfect mindset. I can't procrastinate. But then I find that everyone that has the same problems, it's just at a higher level.
Yeah.
And it's just another form of procrastination that comes up, because we all, right now, for most of us, we can all say exactly what we need to do, but for some reason there's just one thing in the back of our mind, which is another level of procrastination which holds us back. I don't know if you had anything to add to that, or what you think is the subconscious thing that holds us all back. Do you feel like it's just our belief hasn't caught up with our next goal or our next set of actions, or I don't know, what do you feel like it is?
I think it's just fear. I also think that for me, a big shift for me was when I got more into, I've got one on here, thanks, was when I got more into faith, because faith is, in my opinion, the opposite of fear. Fear is like, I don't know what's going to happen and therefore I'm not going to act. Faith is, I don't know what's going to happen, therefore I'm going to act. It's literally just the reciprocal. So I think it's just fear. So like you said, you know what to do, you're just not doing it because you're afraid. Well, you can be afraid for the rest of your life and cap out at 10% of your full potential, or you can skid in at the end having tried your very best. Like, it's just a choice of which way you want to live. You know, like I'm still afraid of doing content, but I stand there like a moron trying my best to talk on camera. Like, I'm not very good at talking on camera, but you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, because I have faith that it's going to find the direction that it's going to find. I don't think there's any other way to live.
If you could put your finger on it, what do you feel like is, because we all have these blocks and it just keeps happening, but what do you feel like? I feel like the hardest thing that for us to identify is the thing that gets us to take that jump. Do you feel like it's just getting sick of stagnation, or just getting tired of staying the same, or fed up with ourselves? What do you feel like pushes us over the edge to take that action that we've been procrastinating for so long?
I think the first time, unfortunately, yes, it does need to be an accumulation where you're like, fuck, I'm finally going to take action. But that's not really a good thing to optimize for, because then you take the first action and then you don't do any other action. Then you get back into this place again where you have to have this giant accumulation of pressure to take the second action. Going back to what we've been talking about, the most important thing that you need to focus on is momentum. Because once you have momentum, like a ball that has momentum, it just keeps rolling because it's rolling. You don't want to have this giant boulder that stands still and go, right, I'm going to put all my force into making it move. You make it move and then you stop and then it stops again. You're like, okay, it moved 2 feet. Well, now I need to start at 0 again. That's why I was saying that, like, just find stupid random things that you can go and do or buy or experience, or people you can meet. Like, today I was in Air One with and last night. I don't normally talk to the security guards in supermarkets. Just started talking to the security guard, and I felt and I saw this instant thing in my brain that was like, oh, I don't do that. And then I was like, no, I'm going to talk to the security guard, because that's something I don't usually do. We're chatting to the security guard, really nice guy. And I'm like, I would never normally do that. It's another breakthrough for me of continuing to maintain momentum. It can be absolutely anything. Like, it doesn't have to be spending money, but you just got to keep doing things that you would normally not do. And as you keep having that momentum, you don't need this giant accumulation of overcoming the fear to take action, because you're just constantly in smaller bite-sized chunks doing things that you don't normally do.
Yeah.
Makes sense? So it's momentum is the biggest thing.
For sure. So just constantly, like, seeking change or
Yeah.
adopting a new identity or challenging them.
Yeah.